Hello Virgo, and this is your forecast for August 2017, and we got eclipses going on. It's super powerful, and you'll see how it's going to come to change up the game for you. Now, that full moon lunar eclipse is taking place on August 7th, so this will show up 15 degrees in your chart in the sign of Aquarius, which is your 6th house. And the 6th house is what you rule astrologically, right? So it's going to be very powerful for you. Now, the lunar eclipses will typically just remove something, eclipse it out of our life, something that the universe feels that you're done with, so we want to stay positive with whatever leaves our life at this point is for our own higher good in the long run. Just always trust that the universe is always looking out for you. It knows what's coming down the road. For some of you, you'll already look forward to it and say, thank God, now this is going to end, right? And you can be done with it, being done with what has been challenging over time. So now you could free up some energy as a result. For others, it might come with an unexpected situation, maybe that you didn't see it coming, whatever it is that's going to be eclipsed out. But then again, it's to trust that whatever is leaving is opening up new room in your consciousness and in your living space, right? Where new things now can come in to empower your new path. It's all about so that we as human beings can take leaps and bounds forward so we don't stagnate in our life with just repetitions, things that we've already outgrown. We don't get anywhere, right? So the universe comes along every once in a while and gives us that little kick so that we can move forward. The 6th house lunar eclipse for you has to do with your day-to-day routines, all right? Where you're spending your time and your focus. It's work, not necessarily your career, but it could be the work that you do within your career. It could be co-workers. Something here is going to shift, okay? You might hear about a co-worker leaving, for example. Or maybe you will be leaving. The 6th house also has to do with anything, what it is that you've been organizing. Maybe you're finalizing a long-term project, and now that's done and can be gone with. But it's also health and digestion and so forth. And these are things that you rule through your sign, right? So you're going to come to see how this too might just affect how things are going to be coming along as we proceed. The new moon, solar eclipse on the other hand, the new moon is always where we plant our seeds, right? Where we open up for new growth and so forth. But it's a solar eclipse. This is taking place 28 degrees in Leo, which is in your 12th house, which has everything to do with the subconsciousness. It's more so our inner world, not as much as the external world, but it's what's going on within ourselves. Now, to empower this, as we start off the month, you have both the Sun and Mars there already. And so you've been pulling back because you've been busy, focused outwardly. You've already pulled your attention somewhat to your inner world. And it is because Mars needs to kind of rest up, reload its batteries after a 2-year journey that you've just finalized, right? So it's more like recuperating. And the Sun is also focusing on what you need for spirit. This is where the solar eclipse is going to show up at 28 degrees. So whatever other planets you have in your chart at 28 degrees, they will also line up and ricochet off this incredible, powerful energy that's taking place with new vigor, right? And so take some time off to meditate, to visualize what it is you want. Know that this new moon has the power of several new moons because of the eclipse. And just watch what gifts it's going to be bringing you. And I can tell you right now that already, even if not on the same day, but the following days, you will come to see how it's opening up these brand new doors and pretty much replacing some of what the lunar eclipse took away, because the axis is between the 12th and the 6th house. They kind of belong together. Venus is in your 11th house as we start off the month in the sign of Cancer, and so that is a very romantic place to have Venus. It's your 11th house for hopes and dreams, right? And so I could see that this is going to be a very active month as far as catching up with your friends. You know, groups and organizations, maybe friends you haven't seen for a long time. And you're nurturing one another, okay? So expect a little bit more, should I say, potlucks and reunions and so forth, or just being out and about doing fun things with them. Mars, like I told you, was in your 12th house, so in the sign of Leo. So that's more you looking at, where do I want to go in the next 2 years? What aims do I have? You've completed something, so what is it I want to put on that horizon? So that's good to know that that part of you is kind of meditating over the month as far as your ambitions go, but you're going to have fun. It's party time as far as Venus is concerned. On the 4th, we might start out with some major decision that we need to take. This is Jupiter and Pluto. Jupiter always wants to expand and grow our world, right? And Jupiter has really picked up speed after its retrograde. And so now she's really good to go. She's out of that shadow of the retrograde. Jupiter for you is looking for it right here in your 2nd house for money and income. So there's a wake-up call. And Jupiter has a lot of receiving aspects this month. So you could come to see perhaps that money is really going to be a good thing for you here in August. But the square on Pluto, Pluto coming from your 5th house, that's children, you know, so maybe they're going to be needing an extra handout or support, help financially, since Jupiter is in that 2nd house. Of course, this is a time where colleges now are, you know, opening up to the season and so forth. Jupiter can also be traveled, so there might be extra expenses with travel and setting up dorms, that kind of thing. But the 5th house is also the businesses that you own, so this square is kind of asking you to look at, how much do I give into this? You know, how much do I spend? What do I hold back on? So there's a little bit of that, but Jupiter is going to be very gracious with you throughout the month, so you'll come to see. On the 10th, there is wonderful romantic news, I feel, for those of you in a relationship. There is a lot of communication. Mercury always brings news, and it's coming from Venus. And so for you, this is you, and if not romantic, it's also friendships. You know, you might hear from somebody you haven't heard from for a long time, and that's going to be extremely jovial because the Sun, which is you, is also aspecting to Jupiter. So it could be a friend that moved out of state, out of country, haven't seen maybe for a decade or longer, might find you on Facebook or vice versa. And I feel that it's going to feel like yesterday. It's like picking up where you left it off. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of sharing. You might also want to be traveling here at this time. It's a wonderful time for it. And then, lo and behold, the 12th and 13th. What beautiful dates for you. And I'd like you to circle in Virgo, the 12th, for a beautiful romantic candlelight dinner type date. This is because Venus and Neptune, Venus is love, romance, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. The two of them, when they come together, it is not just extremely heartfelt, but it's spiritual. It has that soulmate signature, right? So if you're single, don't sit at home, Virgo. You could be the magnet to attract that partner who will really get you, who sees you, who understands you, even without words, because there's a strong telepathic link in these two planets, and it looks like you could have a long-term signature connected to this, as the Sun and Saturn has the same golden trine. Saturn is saying, if this is what you want, let me lock it in. All right, Saturn for you is in the 4th house, which has to do with your home, family, foundation, real estate, and so forth. So on this date, yes, a wonderful time to spend with family. It's a wonderful time to get the dream home that you've been wanting. So some of you might be signing contracts to secure this home, which, like I said, Saturn has the signature of longevity. If you purchase a home at this time, you will be there for years and years, and you will love it. And this is because of that Venus-Neptune influence, which is still lingering here on the 13th. So yes, it will be a very artsy home. It will be a home where you could have a lot of friends come and go, you know, and they will all remark the beautiful atmosphere that you're putting together in this home. On the 17th, you might be looking at expenses again. So money might be going out, and I see that you're kind of thinking, well, should I do this? Should I wait? If you don't have to pursue it right away, I would say, hang in there. Come back a couple of days later. If you're still wanting it or needing it, then go for it. But sometimes when Venus and Jupiter, they're square, we have an impulse need to buy, right? And then we regret it, right? It's like, why did I get that anyway? So just to kind of constrain those impulses, just wait a couple of days. You'll be good to go on the 20th, see? Mars, which is your physical energy, your goal orientation, your ambitions, right, is beautifully aligned to Jupiter, and Jupiter is going to be expanding this avenue, this pathway that you're on. Things are just going to come together, and I, you know, love those days. We call it synchronicity, where you're in the flow and all the pieces of the puzzle just seem to fall in exactly where they're meant to be. I see there's a jovial type of energy, there's laughter, there's joy, and so yes, great expansion. And this energy is leading up now to that new solar eclipse on the 21st, the following day. So you're already all revved up. And not only is the day going to start out with some unexpected event, which it is, it's because the sun, which is you, and Uranus, they're in a beautiful trine, and when Uranus comes in a positive way, those big, unexpected OMGs, they are good. Not negative, they're good. So there's a gift coming this day, and then we have the solar eclipse, which now is going to show to you and reveal whatever the lunar eclipse took away. You're going to start seeing this beautiful opening of what it is you're going to be receiving as far as down the road. And the new moon here is in the 12th house, so it's those hopes and dreams, things that you have now been working straight through, not just this month, but a lot of it this month, but also earlier. Things have been in formulation behind the scenes. Now you're going to see how it is going to come together, and shortly you're going to start showing it to the world what it is that you've been contemplating. And on the 22nd, just the following day, all right, now you know how things have been building up. And you so deserve it, because July was a little tricky. But now here Mars and Saturn, beautiful golden trine. So your ambition, your goal, your physical orientation now to go out and go after what it is you're wanting. Saturn is saying, is this what you want? And you go, yeah. Are you sure? And you go, yeah. Okay, let's lock it in. That's what Saturn's going to do, put a great big solid anchor on it. So whatever you start, maybe as a new project, or if it is a new job, whatever the deal may be, if it's a new relationship, it is good to go for a very, very long time to go. Saturn being in your 4th house can give a little bit of an indicator too, that it might tie in to your foundation in life. That's why it's important. But it could also be something family related, or also real estate related. That is in your solar chart, by the way. In your personal natal chart, where this is all going to take place is different. You know, and I can't see your natal chart with the transits from here, but at least this is giving some great indication for you. There might be a little setback, little delay, or a little hiccup there on the 24th when Venus and Uranus don't really gel. Maybe you set up a date, or maybe you can't really follow up because you're busy, or it could be your partner might be a little busy due to everything else that's so energized right now that you might have to take a rain check. That's no biggie, because on the 27th, Virgo, we have expansion from Jupiter, which of course is your 2nd house, money, income, so forth, now with Saturn. So I'm seeing either there could be a larger expense, which, you know, Jupiter is always big, right? Larger expense going into the home. That could be for those of you signing contracts for a new home. this is a great day to do so. Or finding the home, if you've been out there browsing, you will find something that you feel has the square footage, it has the space that you want, it has the price that you want, and Saturn will secure that this is going to be a home you're going to want to have for years yet to come. A lot of great things coming up here this month, as you can see. So listen, before I end, I would like to say, whatever the lunar eclipse is taking away, eclipsing out of your life, write it down in the comments. When you know what it is, share it with your fellow Virgos so they can see what's taking place with you, just like you can see what's taking place for them. And the same thing with the solar eclipse. Come back and write that too, so that the community here can see what is going on, so you can have those shared experiences. That will be super exciting. Totally appreciate it. Thank you for following. Hit the bell right here if you're listening on your mobile phone. That ensures that you get every upload. If not, even if you are a subscriber, you might just get those notifications every once in a long while. I don't know why YouTube does that, but they have added a bell that makes sure that you get every upload. All right, I'll see you in September. Have a good one. Bye now.